Welcome back to the show, everyone. Keeping with our Hallows Eve theme this week, our very own Adam ventured to one of Kingston's finest traditions, the Haunted Walk. Take a look.
Hey guys, here we are at the historic Fort Henry. We're gonna go see Fort Fright for our Halloween spectacular. I've heard about Fort Fright quite a bit, but I never really got the courage to go and see it. But we're here now, so we're gonna go through with it. There's a lot of people here. I've heard they have some pretty scary stories, so let's get inside the walls and see what's going on.
Just across from us in the darkness, on the other side of Deadmans Bay, is Cedar Island. Now, you might be able to make out faintly the silhouette of Cathcart Tower that stands here. It looks exactly like this tower down here. Now, Cedar Island is a popular camping spot and one of the area's well-known haunts. Now, many people have claimed to have seen the ghosts on Cedar Island, and I'll tell you a story told to us directly by the people involved. A few summers ago, two couples were camping on the island, and they were the only ones there on this particular night. As soon as they arrived, they pitched their tents and set up camp. Now, one couple set up their tent next to the path, while the other couple was a bit more adventurous, and they decided to set up their tent next to the tower, on the edge of a steep bank overlooking the water. Now, in the middle of the night, the woman who was camping near the path woke up to hear a terrible storm raging outside. Unfortunately, she felt the call of nature, so she had to go out into the pouring rain. She walked down the path a little ways when she was surprised to see what she thought was the other couple walking toward the tower hand in hand. She noticed they were wearing some strange old-fashioned clothing that she had never seen before. She called out to them, but they didn't respond, so she went back to her tent. She woke up her partner and told him about what happened, and they decided they'd sort it out in the morning, and they went back to sleep. Now, the next morning, they asked the other couple why they had been out in such terrible weather. Well, the other couple told them that they hadn't left their tent all night, and besides, it hadn't rained. They checked around the campsite, and sure enough, everything was bone dry, including the clothing the woman had worn the night before. As soon as they got back to town, they decided to look into the history of Cedar Island, and they're surprised to find out the explanation for their frightening encounter. Now, Deadmans Bay got its name from a terrible accident that occurred there in 1846. 23 men were working on the construction of Cathcart Tower, and they're working a bit later than usual on this particular day. They could see that a storm was brewing in the distance, but they wanted to stay and finish up the last of their work before heading home for the weekend. Unfortunately, the storm moved in faster than they anticipated, so all 23 men piled into a boat built for 12, and they rowed for shore as fast as they could. Unfortunately, they only made it about halfway across before the storm hit. 17 men died in the waters of this bay before the storm finally ended. One of these men was Robert James. He was engaged to a girl named Elizabeth, who was the daughter of an innkeeper in Kingston. And when news came of Robert's death, she refused to believe it. She wouldn't eat or sleep, and every night she'd walk down to the point of the college and wade up to her waist in the lake, staring out into the water, waiting for her sweetheart's return. Now, she died not long afterwards, and we believe that it is the ghosts of Robert and Elizabeth who have reunited on Cedar Island and who remain there to this very day.